So if you are like me, you consume a lot of personal development and productivity content. And with the things that you learn from this content, you want to improve every single area of your life. You want to get better grades at school, you want to get that next promotion at your job, you want to be healthier, you want to have Matt Devella's biceps. Essentially, you want to improve every area of your life with the things that you are learning from self-improvement. And this is actually the same case for me. I personally am also consuming a lot of personal development content, and I am trying to improve every single area of my life with the things that I'm learning from this content. And there is a common problem that a lot of people who are in this mindset are actually facing, including me. And that problem is essentially when you are trying to improve something in your life, then you see that you slowly actually realize that you're not really doing as well as you want to do in other areas of your life. So in my personal case, when I'm trying to get better grades at school, when I want to improve my academics, I slowly see that I am kind of forgetting some tasks about this YouTube channel. And when I try to focus on completely YouTube, then I start to see that I'm not doing as well as I want to do in my academics. And when I tell myself, okay, right from now on, we are going to be focusing on both of them because I want to be successful in both of them, I slowly realize that I am kind of sacrificing my sleep and the time that I have with my family and my friends. So this time my relationships and my health is not on point. And if you are watching this video, most likely you are also having this problem. Even though you might be really putting in the work, to improve your life, you're not really seeing that many results. You're kind of like, even though you are trying to be on top of everything, not everything on your life is on point. Well, for the last 3 months, I developed a framework, let's call it a system, to actually solve this problem. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it looks like, and I'm going to give you 2 steps to duplicate essentially this framework, this system to your life, to be more productive in every area of your life, to be more successful in every area of your life, at the same time to make progress every single week in every single one of areas of your life. Look, this video is not going to be like a how I organize my life in Notion video. This whole system is going to take probably 10 to 15 minutes every single week for you to complete it. And I'm personally like using generally pen and paper for everything. You might be using Notion, you might be using something else, but just know that this system is incredibly easy and is simple, but the only thing that you should be doing is essentially putting the work to get the results for the next weeks. So let's get started with the first step, which is essentially dividing your life into different categories. So from the experience that I had for the last 4 months, I can easily tell you that you should have around like 5 to 7 different categories for your life. If you have more than 7 categories, it becomes kind of overwhelming. I don't want to say it's complicated because it's actually not really complicated, but the more categories you have, the more kind of harder that it gets. So I personally recommend you having 5 to 7 categories because the point of this whole system is essentially the fact that it's incredibly simple to use. So full transparency here, my system is essentially like this. My categories, I have 6 categories, and the first one is my academics, and then my YouTube channel, and then my faith, and then my health, and then my personal development, and then 2 other school clubs that I'm actually leading. So full transparency, I told you guys what my categories are, and essentially the reason why I did this is first for you to see an example of how they should kind of look like, and the second to see that you shouldn't really try to make them perfect. As you can see, mine are not perfect. If I wanted this system to be perfect, I would probably add like 6 more categories. But if I would add like 6 different categories, then it would be kind of too difficult to track everything. So it would be overwhelming and I wouldn't kind of continue and give up probably without seeing the results like after 2 weeks. So step 1, categorize your life into 5 to 7 different categories. This is going to be completely different for everyone, but try to make your life as simple as possible. Maybe your work, your family, your health, like all of these different things, but try to be as simple, try to make this as simple as possible because the whole point of this system is essentially, it's the fact that it's incredibly simple. Yes, I know I mentioned this like a couple of times until this point, but it's incredibly important. Step 2 is every single Sunday evening, preferably with a hot cup of coffee, sit down and rate yourself in every one of your categories from 0 all the way to 10. Let's say in your category health, or I don't know if category health exists in your system, but let's say it does. And in your category health, you exercised regularly, it was good. You kind of tried to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, you tried to eat healthy, and you tell yourself, yeah, it was kind of like a 7 out of 10 week. So rate yourself from all the way to 0 out of 10, which probably like means you literally didn't do anything about that, and the 10 out of 10, which is essentially your best version of yourself where you did everything that you should be doing, and rate yourself in every one of your categories from 0 to 10. After you rate all of your categories, it's time to do the math. So first, add all of your categories, and because of the fact that I have like 6 different categories, I'm going to have a point like 35, I don't know, 40 out of 60. This is going to be my number, and after that I'm going to calculate what actually percentage that actually means. And the percentage that you have might be from, like, I don't know, 35% all the way to 70% or whatever that is. That is your weekly performance. That is the performance that you had for that week in your life. Then after that, what you should be doing is essentially sit every single Sunday and calculate everything that you did in that week, and essentially try to beat last week's performance. And with this way, every single week you're going to be a little better, a little better, a little better. And over time, I can easily promise you this because I actually saw the results in my life. In a time span of, let's say, 2 to 3 months, you are going to see a radical improvement in every area of your life. And yes, that is it. This is the whole system. It's probably going to take like 10 minutes every single week for you to do that, but it's incredibly effective. However, even though this is the whole system, I have a third step that I personally use in my life, and it would be kind of stupid if I didn't really share it. So my third step is definitely optional. You definitely do not have to do that, but I personally feel like if you add that third step to the system kind of becomes 2 times more life-changing than it actually is, and that is why I kind of added it in my life. And let me tell you what it is. It's essentially accountability. Because I honestly think that accountability is the most effective way to being a high performer, to being a high achiever. So the third step is basically this. I have an accountability partner who is also one of my best friends in my life as well, and every single week on Sunday at 8 p.m. sharp, exactly 8 p.m., we meet up on Zoom and we talk about our week. And every single week I have to report him about all of those 6 categories that I just actually mentioned a few minutes earlier, and I have to essentially tell him that yes, I made this progress, I made this progress, I made this progress in these categories, and next week I'm going to be focusing on these categories. And every week I promise him a general percentage improvement that I want to hit next week. So essentially what it means is, let's say this week I got 63% out of my weekly performance. And I promise him, okay, dude, next week I'm gonna get to 68%, and if I can't, I'm going to pay you a certain amount of money. So because of the fact that I essentially have to pay him money if I cannot achieve the progress that I actually promised him, I essentially have skin in the game. I am financially invested in my growth, and this is something incredibly important. When you are kind of on the edge of losing money, you want to do more things to actually not to lose that money, and that is why this system is incredibly effective, especially if you add the third step. And when I started using this system 3 to 4 months ago, I was kind of averaging 45% a week generally, but right now I'm currently averaging like 65 to 70% every week. But personally, I don't think that being able to do more than 85% is kind of not possible. It's just not something that you can do easily. But I don't know. Maybe we can get there in a few weeks, in a few months. Let's see how it goes. But this was essentially what I had for you guys for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are going to use this system in your lives to improve your productivity and your personal development in every single area of your life. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more personal development, productivity content just like this, then subscribe. I hope to see you in my next video, and bye. My outros are incredibly similar, so it's kind of like a song that I'm telling you. Whatever, just see you in the next video.